I wish I was there with you today in person to launch this impressive report. I congratulate the Noongar Land Enterprise Group on their work and consultation with Aboriginal communities, and importantly, the support they received through their industry partners. Yoordandinj-bah's key objective was to identify how our people and our communities can benefit from the increased production of Indigenous bush foods and botanicals. As the Senator for Western Australia and the Australian Greens spokesperson for science, trade, resources and tourism, I welcome the opportunities presented in this report for First Nations people to participate and drive Indigenous commerce, trade, export growth, business creation and employment. Article 24 on the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples states that Indigenous peoples have the right to their traditional medicines and to maintain their health practices, including the conservation of their vital medicinal plants, animals and minerals. Cultivating bush foods and botanicals is a rich cultural tradition. Aboriginal-led production can ensure that food is grown in accordance with traditional customs and our lands are appropriately managed. There's never been a more crucial time for ensuring our lands and our waterways are managed wisely and in balance with the delicate biodiversity of our ecosystems. It's fundamental to self-determination that Aboriginal people decide how our sacred and cultural knowledges are used and shared, particularly in commercial settings. We must strive for Indigenous economic self-determination. To achieve this, we need robust protections of our ancestral intellectual property and our frameworks that support elders and communities as custodians of cultural protocols and of the know-how. Without such protections, our businesses and our budding entrepreneurs are at risk of exploitation. In addition to their nutritional and medicinal qualities, Indigenous bush foods and botanicals have important cultural, social and spiritual connections to our land and our stories. This presents a unique point of difference in the food business market and an opportunity for our First Nations communities to share their stories and their connection. Geographical indicators could be a powerful marketing tool for Aboriginal-led businesses, with products increasing in value as consumer recognition grows. They would provide reassurances on the quality and origin of products while preventing others from free riding and exploiting First Nations cultural knowledge. It's in the Indigenous diplomacy agenda for the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, which aims to maximise opportunities for Indigenous Australians and Indigenous people in a globalised world by supporting global engagement of Indigenous Australians, enhancing global participation of Indigenous people and promoting the excellence of Indigenous Australians to the world. Research completed for the department earlier this year found that in the 2020-21 financial year, more than $1 billion worth of goods and services were provided by Indigenous companies to the Commonwealth departments and their agencies. The research agency also suggests that there is a prospective economic value of $100 billion of Indigenous interests to be unlocked, with Indigenous botanicals accounting for possibly $30 billion of that. And yet the Australian government doesn't have Indigenous inclusion in its free trade agreements with its international trade partners. We need trade agreements that advance our national interests and promote and protect First Nation enterprises and industries. The inclusion of an Indigenous chapter in every free trade agreement would secure the accessibility and regulation of our fledgling Indigenous bush foods and botanicals industry, giving First Nations people sovereignty of these products. I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts and appreciation for this work, and my heartfelt congratulations on the release of this report today. I look forward to working with you all on creating the next tranche of economic opportunities with industry in partnership with First Nations communities for our economic development. Thank you.